Hello, everybody, and welcome to Is It Kino? I am MUMKEY Jones.
And I'm E-Rich singing that Martin McDonough can have me however he wants.
Let me just say, folks at home, you might not know what this movie is that we're about to talk about, but let me paint you a picture. If you've ever wondered what would a Rule 34 edition of Is It Kino be like, look no further, because this episode we're just gonna be sucking dick the whole time.
Oh yeah,
Whose dick are we sucking, E-Rich?
Marty McDonough's, the writer-director of Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
A film that both E-Rich and I, immediately after seeing, decided it was our favorite film of the year, just without question.
It is definitely.
There's a whole
up there.
month of films that have not come out yet, and I'm convinced this movie will take the cake.
It's up there even for movie of the decade for me.
Oh my god.
There have been some really fucking great movies. But
better than Avengers Age of Ultron? Really?
Ooh, that's a rough one. Yes, it's better than Avengers Age of Ultron.
You were telling me before the show that this cast was like the good actor Avengers for you.
It is. So we were talking earlier about Caleb Landry Jones. He was in American Made. He is in this movie too, and he is fucking great.
Which one is he?
He is the guy who owns the sign place.
Oh, Red.
Red, yes. Oh, you know all the character names.
I know most of the character names.
Mm-hmm.
Let's tell these folks what this movie is, because it's a lesser known movie. It's not really.
Yeah.
I think it might be playing just about everywhere now, but you had to drive an hour to go see it.
Yeah, but I would definitely recommend that anybody drive any amount of time to see this movie.
Yeah.
So
followers of my Twitter know that I saw this movie in New York a week ago, maybe like 10 days ago, and I said that the 10-hour train ride to New York was worth it just for seeing that movie alone. I could have skipped out on seeing Asterios and just went home, and I would have been satisfied because of how much I love this movie.
Yeah, it is that good. So this movie is about a woman who buys 3 billboards that are on a bumfuck road that nobody cares about, and she puts on these billboards. Let's see here.
A
Raped
big
while
fuck
dying,
you to the
and still no arrests. And how come Chief Willoughby? So
yeah, it's a big fuck you to the police department of the town that has so far not captured the man who raped and murdered her daughter. Mm-hmm. So it's immediately this is a very emotionally driven plot.
No, it certainly is. But to me, there is the thing itself, which is already a great idea. But then there is all of the fleshing out that goes on around it, which is basically that this is a problem that does not have an easy solution. She is upset because the police haven't found the person who murdered and raped her daughter. The police chief is dying of cancer, and he's also not happy that they haven't found the person. But after so much work and so much some crimes just can't be solved instantly like that.
Right.
And
let me just interrupt you real quick, Rich, and say we should do a no spoiler review, and then we'll get into spoilers, because I think the best way to see this movie, as most movies are, is to go in not knowing anything about it like I did. Mm-hmm. I actually watched the trailer after I saw the movie because I just wanted to see the scenes again, and the trailer made me angry because of some of the things that it showed. I was like, if I would have saw that before I saw the movie, I would have been pissed. So let's do a brief, quick dick suck recommendation, and then people who want to go see it without getting spoiled can stop listening. How's that sound?
That sounds good to me. So, for me, this movie basically hits every single mark it can in the highest way possible, in the very best way. So you've got a great script. A movie can be made with a great script, and everything else can be shitty, and it's still a decent movie. But this movie has a great script, actors who are at the top of their game, able to perform that script to the best possible kind of result. You've got Martin McDonough, who already has his... Time out.
All right. There are a few, and I don't want to nitpick the movie too much because I love it, and it's my favorite of the year so far.
Yeah.
But there are a few actors who I think were miscast, and that the dialogue they were saying was good dialogue, but the way they delivered it was a bad character.
I'll be interested to see who you're talking about there.
Take a guess. It's somebody who we've talked about on this show before.
The son?
Yep, our good friend Lucas Hedges from Manchester by the Sea, who I thought was very good in Manchester by the Sea. In this movie, he looked like a kid who was reading lines that were above his pay grade, and I did not buy his performance at all. But that's the only thing I can say to neg this movie. Everything else I thought was fucking stellar.
I'd say he's about 80% there. Like I noticed it sometimes, or just like maybe he's not quite cut out for some of the material he's given here. But I mean, like, he was kind of one of the standout parts of Manchester by the Sea, and I think it's not a mistake to give him something like this. Maybe he's a little bit more rough than what somebody like Martin McDonagh can really do with you. But
there's one line in particular that I think they should have used a better take for, when he's in the car with his mom and he says something like, "Wow, Mom, great. I didn't want to know how my sister died, and now I know she got raped and murdered. Just great, Mom. Gosh, man, that sure does stink." And I was like, oh, come on, you're delivering that so poorly. Like, it's almost like the script is off screen and you're reading it, dude. What are you doing? Why did they choose this take?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. However, I think he kind of fits in that teenager who's really just fucking done with his mom.
Teenager who's really bad at acting.
Her attitude. So, yeah, one thing I got to point out here is that none of the characters here are like perfect. They all have like flaws and problems, and they most of them have a character arc that they go on. One of the best characters in the movie we haven't even talked about yet, which we'll probably talk about in spoilers. But played by
I
Sam
think
Rockwell.
we're going to give a whole fucking analysis. I'm going to give a Digibrony level analysis for some of these characters pretty soon. Yeah,
but basically everyone here is just so good and so committed to what they're doing. And Frances McDormand as well. She just, her character is so off the wall at times and yet so sad.
A woman who we've talked about before on Is It Kino. She was in Blood Simple, right?
Yeah, she is the
and
muse
we'll see her in Fargo and a bunch of other movies to come.
Yeah, so these are all actors and actresses that I've seen before in other movies, and like basically just their full talents are here and in the best way.
You were saying these characters, they have a lot of flaws, and that's one of the best parts of the movie for me, is that I don't know who most movies, who the good guy is, like there's a protagonist.
Who are you rooting for, basically? Yeah.
Exactly. This movie, there isn't any. Like, everybody, on some level is doing something that I disagree with. And some people I think are a little bit crazy, but I understand why they're doing what they're doing. And it's like, it's not a battle of good versus evil. It's a battle of, you got 8 different people, all with their own, ideals and goals and different ways of approaching it, just sort of interacting with each other and going ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, just bouncing all off of each other and reacting to each other and causing more mayhem and destruction. And it's so, the storytelling is so, I just had the word on, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's organic. It's organic. And I saw this movie twice because I was so blown away. And it was much more impressive the second time.
Really?
Because when you watch it the second time, you really see how the information is given out to the audience as the movie goes on, and how every scene leads to the next scene. It reminds me a lot of Breaking Bad, where in Breaking Bad, it usually doesn't feel like a scene is just happening for the sake of happening. I always felt like, oh, this scene is happening because like what just happened led to this. It's as if this was real life, this is how it would happen, because people would respond in that way. And it doesn't feel like a script. It feels like the natural course of life.
Yeah.
And that's what this movie is.
So what I was kind of worried about coming into this movie was Martin McDonagh often writes characters that are like very clearly characters, maybe even caricatures, where they're a very particular instance of something, and he's just full bore going into that thing. And those characters can sometimes veer off into being like completely unrealistic, but I mean, like in
Seven Psychopaths, I think that was the biggest issue, is that a lot of the characters were crazy.
I really enjoyed that movie, but yeah, that's mainly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But in this movie, he has such a way of making them feel realistic and feel like they're actual people, while also giving them that extra zinger or that extra like ability to be clever or wisecracking. But it feels organic within the world of Missouri that they're in. And
on the subject of comedy, I'd say this is, I mean, it's got to be, unless The Disaster Artist is something special, this has got to be the dark comedy of the year.
Definitely.
It's so fucking funny in ways that maybe most audiences won't laugh at everything, but I got a chuckle out of all the crazy shenanigans and all the witty dialogue, and even something like an abusive husband can be turned into a funny joke in this movie.
Yeah.
But that's all I got for no spoilers. If you got more to say, other than obviously we recommend this to everybody. Not my mom. I recommended it to my mom, and she saw it and said she did not like it. So if you're my mom, don't see it.
Yeah, if you think that the Emoji Movie is good, don't see it.
Fuck you!
Oh wait a minute!
How dare you? Oh God. My mom is convinced that Bad Moms 2 is the film of the year. So if you're more of a... I liked Bad Moms 2. Not a good movie, but I liked it.
I was going to say, Bad Moms 2 is probably excelling at its own thing. That Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri is nowhere close to...
There's two types of comedies about bad moms. There's the Three Billboards kind, and there's the Bad Moms kind. If you want to see a movie about a bad mom being funny, flip a coin, I guess.
Yeah. But would you call this the best bad mom movie out there?
Oh, best bad mom movie of the year.
Yes. I don't remember. She stands up Mila Kunis and Kristen Bell and that other woman.
And whoever the fat one is.
She was in Step Brothers, that's all I know.
What are your last comments before we jump into spoiler territory?
Three Billboards has somehow unseated both the other two Marty McDonagh movies to become my favorite McDonagh. I like it more than In Bruges, and I like it more than Seven Psychopaths, and that's really saying something, because those two movies have such a great spirit and such a great comedic edge, and also are darkly funny as well, and I think this one beats it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's his best movie by leaps and bounds, and I want to revisit his old ones, because I sort of overlooked them, but now I want to see this guy's talent on full display. Yeah, and stop banging whatever you're banging, you fuck.
Oh, sorry, I'm handsy.
Oh, it's Harvey Weinstein in the house. Hey, did you produce this movie?
Yeah, I didn't care as much for In Bruges. I loved In Bruges, don't get me wrong, but everybody seems to absolutely adore that movie. I like it slightly less than everyone else. I should probably give it another try, though.
Yeah, I see it on a lot of top 10 comedies lists for some reason, and I didn't think it was that phenomenal, but I'll check it out again. Hey, definitely. go watch this movie and then come back and listen to this spoiler review, which starts right now.
You cut out right before you said now, and then you cut back in as soon as you said now. It was perfect. All right, so
who's going to win the Oscar for this movie? Who's going to win the Oscar?
Everyone should. I think Frances McDormand is definitely going to be in Best Leading Actresses for this year. They still have that category, right? They didn't combine them yet?
They're going to combine Best Actress with
I've been hearing
actress?
things about that.
Oh, that's dumb. They shouldn't do that.
Do you think? I think Woody Harrelson should be up for Best Supporting, and maybe Sam Rockwell as Best Actor.
Yeah, that's the problem, because Woody Harrelson gets top billing over Sam Rockwell, but then, and we're in the spoiler territory, Woody Harrelson dies halfway through the movie by shooting himself in the head, and then Sam Rockwell becomes the main character. So it's murky water. Because typically the supporting actor role, it's easier to win that one if you're really good. So maybe
if you're really good in a small role, it's so simple. But also it's fucked up, because they'll say that a Best Supporting role can sometimes be such a big part of the movie.
Yeah.
So it's possible they'll give Best Supporting to Sam Rockwell here.
Yeah, they might give it to him because they think he can win it better than he could win Best Main Role.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be more of a political thing than him actually getting the award he deserves.
Yeah.
But maybe there's going to be a better leading performance, and it would be better just to place him in the supporting actor role.
Yeah, who knows? They fuck around with calling The Martian a comedy sometimes, so who knows?
Yeah.
Martian was not funny. I challenge anyone who thinks
it had quips. It was about as funny as Iron Man.
Yes. All right. So I have to admit, MUMKEY, in this movie, when Woody Harrelson killed himself and the letters were going out to people, I was in tears. That character was so well drawn, and the very, very few scenes he had, he was just very human, and he actually stopped to talk to Frances McDormand's character, and he seemed to be a very real person who was suffering from cancer but was still trying to live his life. and then he kind of sees that he just can't. He's not going to have that time, and the part where he tells his wife, like, I just can't see you going through all of the bad things of my body dying and just basically still being here while I'm really not. That was really affecting to me.
Yeah, the first time I saw the movie, I did not cry, but the second time, after knowing everybody's fate, the Woody Harrelson stuff did make me tear up in the theater, which was unfortunate because the first time I was alone in New York. Second time I was with my girlfriend, so I was like, oh, great, now she gets to see the big, strong MUMKEY man full of tears over True Detective taking his own life.
Cry, fucker, cry. Yeah. What did you buy Sam Rockwell's transformation in this movie?
Oh my God, First of all, he disappears into this role for me. Yeah. I did not recognize him from Moon or from Iron Man 2 or any of his other movies. It was just a real life person on the screen to me, and I did buy his. He might be the. Would you call him an anti-hero in this movie, or is this more of just like a hero's journey from evil to good?
Yeah, I think it's a hero's journey transformation for him.
Although, I mean, I don't even know if he's. No, I'll take it back. He does become a hero by the end.
He literally burns like half to death, like, and that's basically his transformation, literally on screen. Yeah,
that character is one of the most intriguing things. One of the most intriguing characters of the year for me. Just he goes from just a dumb bumfuck hillbilly, racist guy who has the reputation for torturing,
beating up black people.
Yeah, and then he goes to just such lengths of hurting himself and putting himself in harm's way to help the people who he formerly was ready to kill.
Yeah. And there were a couple good twists in this movie where
many fucking twists. Like I had no idea where any of it was going the whole time.
Yeah, where
when Woody Harrelson shoots himself, I yelled, "What the fuck?"
I saw that coming.
You did?
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to be in the whole movie. I just don't see how their kind of conflict comes to a head in a realistic way between what's her face and Willoughby.
Yeah,
Mildred.
Because
basically, I was really worried that like they were going to definitively find the killer and rapist. And then kind of like hunt him down and then get revenge and everything. And that very well could happen, but it's off screen, which I love that decision by the end of the movie.
It's one of those great Inception endings where it could go either way, and you just have to use your brain a little bit and you'll figure out the truth.
So, MUMKEY, do you think that the guy they found is the actual guy?
No,
you don't.
Because, they said that they interviewed his commanding officer, and he was out of the country, so it wouldn't surprise me if this sick fuck could have easily been over in Afghanistan burning girls and fucking them. Like, it's a massive coincidence, but that's life.
Nah, but I think that's such bullshit. I think the army could very well say, no, he wasn't around. They're kind of covering for their own. The things he was saying in that bar were just way too specific.
Yeah, but I think that's one of those things, though, where this movie is really a reflection of life and real types of people, and like crazy coincidences like that I think happen all the time. So I think it fits the theme of the movie where Mildred is sitting alone with a deer and she says like there is no God and it doesn't matter all the terrible things we do to people. Like it's just something that happens.
Yeah. Well, and I also think it's fine if he is, but they don't know for sure. Like I always love that uncertainty on their kind of
and we don't know, and we also don't know if they go through with killing him or if they learned the very specific lesson that Woody Harrelson taught them in his suicide, and they turn around and go home and realize that anger only begets more anger.
Yeah, as the ex-husband.
As the bookmark once taught us.
So here's the thing, this movie is so full to bursting with like side characters who seem to have their own inner life that we only get a small peek at. The girl that what's his face is going out with, and Peter Dinklage is in this movie in a very small role. That is not
how dare you
fun at him being a dwarf.
Erich.
It is a
not
small
everybody
role.
Can be 5'11" like you.
God damn it! I'm 6'0". MUMKEY.
You're king of the manlets.
That's right. but I mean, yeah, and the black police chief who takes over for Woody Harrelson, he's one of my favorite characters from The Wire, and just all the great actors who go by in this movie and have pretty meaty roles for like what they're asked to do is pretty fucking great. Also, Caleb Landry Jones, I just want to say once again, he is the most scummy looking guy. He actually has a better, more positive role than I've ever seen him in this movie.
Is he the boy who plays Red?
Yes.
Oh, you think he was scummy in the movie?
Well, no. I think he looks scummy, and he can't do anything about that. He was finally playing a good person in this movie.
Yeah,
for the most part.
And you're naming off all these like minor characters, but so many of them go through like huge changes, or not even necessarily a change, but like character moments where they kind of blow your expectations out of the water. And one crucial scene in the film is where Dixon, the racist cop, has beat. First of all, there's a great tracking shot of Dixon going into this advertising firm, breaks the glass on the door, walks up the stairs, beats the fuck out of Red, throws him out the 2-story window, slams the woman in the face and tells her to shut up, goes back down, kicks him in the street, and then walks back into the police station. All one continuous shot. Super impressive. I don't know how they did it.
A Yim Yams Monsters of Folk song.
Oh, so much of the music in this movie fits the scene so well, and I looked up the soundtrack, and I've been listening to it a lot because I just want to see these scenes again, and the music was so great. So Red, after this brutal beatdown, is in the hospital, and then Dixon gets burned up in the police station arson, and he's put in the same hospital room, and Red doesn't know it's him. But when he finds out, I'm thinking, oh my God, he's going to get his revenge.
Dixon's the shit out of him, yeah.
Dixon's going to get so hurt. But then Red, he's just like, he freaks out a little bit and he calms down and he gives him an orange juice. And I thought that's all you have to know about the character. Like he's so forgiving and kind in the face of somebody who brutally, mercilessly beat him for no reason.
But also he said he was sorry too. And he seemed to mean it. So like, I think that means something. It means that Sam Rockwell's character is kind of like turned a corner really, and like the letter that he read while the police station was burning down really kind of struck a chord in him. Like I feel like he's a really aimless character who kind of stuck with this police job because that's kind of what came his way.
His mother pressured him to follow the career.
Yeah, and I mean like it's so easy in that more southern setting to just fall into old racist behavior and beat the shit out of black folks because that's kind of what you do. But just the corner,
as you do,
as a southerner, you mint julep in your hand, beating up the black. Sam, he just.
The point I wanted to make was that moment where Red gives Dixon the orange juice in a film that's going to have a reputation of being very dark and dreary and depressing. It's such a heartwarming moment. And it really encapsulates the theme of the film, which ultimately, and I think it's great that the film hands you the theme on a golden platter of a joke with the bookmark, anger only begets more anger, which is just those moments where we see that in action. I think it changed me as a human being, and I walked out of the movie thinking, you know what? That taught me a fucking lesson. And I think in the future, if I ever think about like, oh man, this guy really fucked me, I'm gonna get revenge on him. Oh, I'm gonna make a video shitting on this guy or whatever the fuck. Maybe take a step back and think, what is there to gain but retaliation and hurt feelings and all these terrible things? Maybe just let it go.
An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind, monkey.
Well, this movie was much less gay than Gandhi. So. Fuck Gandhi.
So what's interesting though is, does Frances McDormand learn that lesson in this movie though?
That's the Inception twist at the end. We don't know, but we have to assume she will because that's the theme of the movie.
Yeah, because
I have a good feeling they're going to turn around and go back home.
Okay, this entire movie is basically just her progressively getting worse in trying to handle this horrible thing that's happened to her. She burns down the police station and doesn't really face any retribution for it.
That's the moment. That's the moment where I'm convinced that she will learn the lesson because she's in the car driving with Dixon to go kill this guy in Idaho, and she tells him that she burned down the police station, and the fact that he was just like so offhandish about it, like, oh, who else could it have been? And like, he's not angry at her. I think that's the moment where the switch flips in her mind, and she's like, wow, if this, piece of shit guy can forgive me for this so easily, maybe there's room for forgiveness in my heart.
I don't know. I kind of think she's gonna go and kill the guy.
You really do? I mean, think about the correlation here, the connection. We've got, she wants revenge on a guy who burned her daughter to death. She just burned up this guy almost to death, and he forgave her. I think there's enough of a connection in my mind that she's going to learn this lesson and go home.
Dixon didn't rape and burn her daughter.
Right, but she pretty much committed the same crime that the guy who killed her daughter committed, which was, burning somebody up. Like, not to the same degree, obviously.
No, yeah, I guess she did see him in there and was kind of like...
Well, she didn't see him in there, but she did burn somebody almost to death. So I think she can... she's in the same position, sort of. I mean, she didn't rape and murder somebody, but she did burn this man who is now forgiving her. And I think she'll see the light.
Huh, interesting. We took some separate things from that, but I
can't believe you have such a dark look on the outcome of the movie. I thought it was pretty clear that the message of the movie was they're gonna turn around and learn that the anger does beget more anger.
But I mean, like, what anger is there to get from killing this guy?
They're gonna go kill that guy and then go to prison and then lose their families. I think they're gonna not do that. Because they know that they're not coming back.
They're in Missouri.
But they know they're not coming back from this. Like, they pretty much say goodbye to their loved ones and they're off.
See, I saw it as basically the whole movie is Frances McDormand, like, doing worse and worse things in order to work through this terrible thing that happened to her. She might kind of, like, feel that she's not really getting anything out of it and she can do these ridiculous things. But, I mean, like, also... good things did happen from her putting up those billboards and everything. There was actually some progress made and everything. So she is kind of just, I don't know, helplessly fucking things over as much as she can in order to feel something and try to move forward. But I feel like even if that guy didn't do it, they'll get some happiness. Even if he's just a rapist or a murderer, not the specific murderer, they'll get something from going and handling him. But
how does that fit the themes of the movie for you? Like, why would they even set up an open-ended ending like that if it's just going to be what we already expect?
But it won't help them, basically. Like, they can go and do that, and they might feel some shred of better because they were able to do it. But since they don't have the evidence to prove it, and since, like, there is no actual way to know whether he did it or not, they'll always have that doubt. They'll always, like... they're never going to get over that.
Right.
It's the kind of thing you can't get away from.
I guess from a screenwriting perspective, I think to the final lines of dialogue in the movie, the final lines aren't, do you think this will make us feel better? Oh, I don't know. It's, do you actually want to go kill this guy? And then they reply, oh, I'll think about it on the way.
Yeah, so, like, they say when they get there. That's the
question that the movie asks.
We'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah, the question is,
going there.
The question isn't, will this make us feel better? The question is, do we actually want to go through with this?
I think it's open-ended, and let's leave
it to the let's see what the comments think. If you've seen the movie,
exactly.
Jump into the discussion. And it's good that a movie can make two like-minded people have completely different interpretations of the ending. I think that's great.
Here's the deal. I actually think your reading is probably more valid overall because I think the movie is trying to say something a bit more positive and a bit more kind of redemptive than I like to think it is. But that was just the impression I got after seeing the movie and coming out of it. One thing I do want to mention real quick. Yeah, the scene where they flash back to the last thing that she said to her daughter before her daughter...
Oh, that's fucked.
That was such a gut punch in this movie because it is such a... Of course, that's the thing that she said. And of course, like, that would be the last thing. And then...
It explains everything about her character and all of her crazy actions in the movie because she is so wrecked by guilt, and specifically what she said to her daughter, that she has to fight tooth and nail, do whatever it takes to redeem herself and to just get this taken care of. And once that scene plays, suddenly everything made sense, and I was like, that's why this woman is such a fucking train wreck.
Yeah. Almost every scene in this movie plays like you understand these characters better. You can get a good read on why they do the things they do. Like this movie spends a couple scenes with Sam Rockwell around his mom, just kind of like hanging out at home.
The same mom from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia,
yes.
playing the same exact character. She's no different from Mac's mom, right? Is it Mac's mom?
I think yes, it is Mac's mom. Yeah,
she's exactly the same. What a great actress.
Yes, she can do that thing really well.
Everything she says is so funny just because of her voice. And she has a pet turtle that just crawls around the house.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Holy shit.
When she was sleeping on the couch, like the turtle's just crawling across her lap.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, this movie is just... It's a revelation. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah. I could talk about this all day. Speaking of talking about it all day, the scene where Dixon is sitting on his bed calling Mildred, and he has like the shotgun, and he's kind of like pondering shooting himself.
Yeah.
An old lady behind me in the theater, she said, "No, they're gonna do it again, twice in the same movie."
She couldn't handle it.
She was distraught that she would have to watch that shit again.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Like, I just love so much about this movie, the scenes with Woody Harrelson with his family, where he's telling the girls how to like fish for the teddy bears and everything.
It's pretty much just him from True Detective. He's got those 2 daughters. He's a true detective. That's the end of the.
No.
That's all.
He's a much better guy in this movie than what's his face was in True Detective.
Yeah, he wasn't cheating.
Yeah.
Oh, well, shitty, Rich. Do we have any more to gush about, or should we wrap it up and maybe we can always talk about this again later if we want to talk about it during the Oscar episode.
Yeah, this is one that I'm going to return to if I see it around me in theaters. I'm definitely going to go out to check it out again. I'll definitely keep your interpretation of the ending in mind because I think that's also another good sign of a good movie is that people can get separate things from it and both be pretty satisfied with those answers.
Absolutely. I think that's a sign of a great piece of writing is that it affects so many people in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the name of the show is it Kino? Yes, this is fucking Kino. This is fucking great.
It's Bad Mom Kino. I'll put that out there right now. You will find no better film about a bad mom in the world.
They should put that on the cover of the Blu-ray when it comes out. Best mom movie, Bad Mom movie decade.
Erich, in Bad Moms 2, A Bad Mom's Christmas, there is not a scene of Mila Kunis yelling at her daughter, "I hope you get raped," and then she actually gets raped and burned up and killed. That never happens in that movie. This is the bad mom you're looking for, folks.
And what does Lucas Hedges say to her? Like something about cunt and.
Oh, that was really funny. Yeah, he says the word cunt, and she says, "Hey, there will be no cunts in this house." And he said, "What, are you leaving?"
So great.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's snappy dialogue without being like over the top and like, oh, I don't believe that. I believe it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've had very similar interactions with my own mother. Like it's realistic people. It doesn't seem like I'm listening to an Aaron Sorkin fucking script where it's like, oh man,
talking all over the place.
This writer sure was good at writing the dialogue. No, this is I feel like they just popped an omniscient camera into somebody's life, and
everyone sounds the fucking same.
Yeah. Hey everybody, we both love this movie. Go see it. Go waste your money on it if you haven't already. And for Is It Kino, I have been MUMKEY Jones.
Fuck off, you cunts.
Whoa, Erich. That's so rude. They just listened to us for 34 minutes, and that's how you say goodbye.
Yeah.
How dare you?
This is the new and improved.
I hope you do get raped!